community,
Mm.
the better off you are.
Like I say, man, I give you. We're live right now. Like I said, I give you the
Okay.
utmost, man, for actually doing something like that, man. Because I don't know. I don't know. I say I don't know how I could have done it, but I probably could have. I'm just speaking from the fact that I didn't lose my sight. Uh, later on in life, and I lost early. But I just tell everybody, man, I don't know how I could do it, but man, you just got to do what you got to do, man. That's
I
the
mean, that's the key right there. I mean, I think one of the biggest things. I mean, I'm big into awareness as well.
mm.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is I never knew another blind person before I became blind.
Somebody's always. I've talked to a lot of people about that, and a lot of people have said that when I asked them, man, as a matter of fact, I had an interview with someone a couple of days ago, and it's like they were sighted. It was a young lady, and they had no intention of learning Braille, learning nothing because they had never came in contact with blind people, and none of that. But I mean, I guess it's hard for me to understand because I'm visually impaired, and I'm around sighted people, so I figure if you're sighted, you may have a tendency to run into somebody who is visually impaired, work both ways. But I talked to a lot of
Still
people,
there?
and it doesn't work like that. They didn't had no connection, and now they're
Hey, I
trying to learn.
lost you. At. There you go.
You hear me?
Now I got you back.
Now I was saying like I've spoken with a lot of people who are blind and have lost their sight later on, and they said the same thing that you have, and
Yeah.
wow, because
I
I
mean,
thought go ahead.
I mean, it just you have no idea. I mean, the school that I went to here in L.A., Davidson Program for Independence. Man, I'm so blessed to go through that program. But man, I rode past that place all my life and never knew what was behind that building.
Wow, wow, wow.
But then when I went to my school, when I went for my training, I mean, I was there for 7 months.
Mm,
I did the whole program in one shot.
I thought.
Computers, ILS, Braille, mobility.
Mm,
I did, but no, it's the sooner you get with the community, I'd say is the best. I mean, I know you say we live. I'm just throwing it out here,
yeah,
keeping it
but then I
100.
just saying that by me it was hard for me to understand because as a blind person I came in contact with sighted people. But as
Right.
sighted people, they don't like you. Like I said, you weren't the first person that has answered that question. Like, oh man, I ain't never came in. I ain't never saw any
I mean,
blind.
we don't understand it. I mean, you
Yeah,
rarely see them moving up and down the street. I'm being honest. I mean,
yeah, you gotta be. I want that's what I want you to.
I mean, you don't pay attention to people walking with a cane. You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
I got you.
I mean, you see, I mean, if they was moving around the street, you didn't really notice them walking with that cane. You
But
know what
now,
I'm saying? I mean, they do their thing. They go their spot. They mind their business. Move. Just like we do now.
mhm,
I mean, I rarely interact with somebody unless they speak with me.
okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I found it hard to believe.
But
But
I'll
yeah,
tell you what I did do.
mhm.
Have you heard of this spot called Custom Cane?
Say it again.
Custom Cane.
Custom case. Now recently, I think I have. Yeah.
There's a guy in Tennessee. He's a blind gentleman as well, Jimmy. Bottom line, you know how they wrap race cars and stuff. You heard about how they do that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, well he wrapped the cane.
You,
There's no law says we have to have a white cane with a red tip.
okay? Say it again because you were breaking up.
I'm sorry. There's no law that says we have to have a white cane with a red tip.
I thought it was. I mean, I didn't
No,
know if it
there's
was a
not.
law, but I thought it was like that was something that is like a norm you're supposed to have.
Well, no. I mean, it's a worldwide symbol. In other countries, you have it's mandatory, but not in America.
Okay.
So I got a couple canes. One of the main canes I carry is I mean I carry it like this on purpose. I did this on purpose. It's still with eyeballs, though.
Mm. My
He
feet.
wrapped it with eyeballs.
My feet. I heard what you said, but my feet. Before we start, we're just talking. My feet is act. I don't know. Oh, you hear? Is it acting up on my end? On your end?
No, I don't hear no feedback. No.
It's more of a like a garbleless type thing. Talk again.
Okay, it's coming from me.
Yeah, it's like
Can you tell you? I mean, I'm here. I'm talking. Well, let me talk about this cane.
it sounds more like a robot.
Okay.
We're gonna get it fixed
But yeah,
before we start our show, but we're just talking, we're trying to get everything straight with this live.
okay. Yeah, well, so this Kane is rap with these eyeballs. I mean, yeah, you've been blind. I hope you understand what an eyeball look like. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. I do know.
Okay, so I mean, I got red eyes, black eyes, you know, bloodshot eyes, crying eyes, all kind of stuff. It just wraps my whole cane.
Mm.
Okay, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I got a reflector tip down on the bottom.
Mm.
You know, so it's still got the reflector, so you know, at night the cars can catch it. You feel me?
Mm.
But bottom line, it's a conversation piece.
So yeah, exactly. And I'm being honest, what I'm saying. So it was custom. There we go. It's custom made cane.
Right. Jimmy does that. I mean, he raps them. He started off doing them, you know, whatever your sports team is.
Hell, I might need to holler at Jimmy, man, and get him on here, man, because you know a lot of people may be interested in that situation, man, for real.
Oh, I mean, he does that. He does, and I mean, he does a lot of other good stuff. He's a good dude, man. I mean, you know, I mean, that's his little thing. He's side hustle. I mean, you know, he's actually does psychology.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But he's also he also has another thing called World Cane Give Initiative, or You Cane Give.
Mm.
Man, this cat, and I didn't work with him on this. We collect canes, old canes, you know, cords gone, whatever you want, refurbish them, and he sends them to third world countries.
Oh man, that's neat. That is neat, man.
I mean, he took I came here, it was over 100 canes or whatever over to Africa.
That's neat, man. I need to we need to get y'all on here and we can talk about that. But that's what's up. While the feed is good, we're gonna go and knock this thing out and talk about what we're here for, man. Because you got a lot of stories. You're OG, man, and you know I'm gonna get you back on some.
Well, I'm new in the community. I've only been in the community a few years, but you know, I'm just one of them. I've been around.
It's for experience. So let me hit this intro, and we're gonna be back on the other side with the topic of this of today. So
it's your show, dog.
Let's see.
We're right on time now, huh?
Yeah, we got 13 more minutes, but we're gonna get it jumping. Technology, sometimes things don't work. Okay.
That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all?
Welcome. Okay, yeah, I think we got it straight, George. Hopefully it'll last and whatnot. Oh. Okay, my man's is on here. He's talking about his name is George. He said he has a purple cane, so I guess his was a design.
I think Ambitech sell you can buy them in any color.
Okay. Well, look, y'all. Let me play this music. Welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. And today we are going to stimulate your mind, y'all. So the topic of today is my opinions and views on the root of justice, injustice, and inequality. It's supposed to be a panel discussion, but couldn't get everybody on the same accord. So we're just going to run with what we got. And today we are on Periscope, Facebook, and I think another outlet as well. We're running this simultaneously. So please go over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell once you do that, so that you can get updates. And you're probably gonna get more videos and things like that, as opposed to just when I post today. But I say this to you all now, and I say this to my future subscribers. Also, make sure to like, make sure to share, and make sure to comment. I need your comment. Let me know what you think about these videos. Like I said, this is a channel for and about blind people, but I try to branch over every once in a while, branch out and touch on some topics which are very important to me and others as well. And sighted people, you're definitely welcome as well. So with that being said, if the music is not too loud, which is being provided by SOV Music, and the name of the instrumental is No Time. So with that being said, I want to welcome my guest who has a lot to say, Edy Davis, to the show. What's up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, I'm glad that that you're here. The music's not too loud, huh?
I mean, no, I can work with it.
You can work. I mean, I can turn it down if you want me to. It's your show. This ain't mine. I'm working for you. So is it too loud?
Give me a drop a point on me.
Okay, you want me to turn it down some?
Oh, yeah, one little point.
Okay, hold on.
That's fine. That's right there.
Okay. Excuse me. Ed, give a little background to the people. Giving them a little background where you're from and just some of the little tidbits, because we want to give them all at one time. What's that?
Well, I mean, well, I'm 63 years old. I was born in Venice, California. I guess why I'm supposed to be relevant is about the age of 7, my mother married a black man, and I lived in the neighborhood all my life. I've seen life from how should we say, the other side of the tracks. And I understand a lot of things that go on in the neighborhood. So, and now I'm blind, so I see things from a whole nother perspective. But it's all relevant.
Okay. Now with the topic today of us discussing injustice and inequality and what have you seen any resemblance of any type of inequality and injustice as someone who is white?
All my life.
Tell us about it. This is your show. Talk to us.
I mean, as a child growing up, I mean, I want to say the very first, I was speaking about this the other day, the very first time I remember seeing some racial animosity, if you will. I was a young kid right after my mother got with my stepfather Ron, and we were going in this restaurant, man. And I seen a white dude beating on this brother with a hammer, and I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm only like 6, 7 years old at the time, so it was pretty, traumatic to my head, at that age. But once I started growing up in the neighborhood, like I said, how kids do. I mean, we get on our bicycles, we ride, we go places, we do things. As we out and about in the streets, I'm just seeing, when we go in places of business, how people are really watching them, and I'm just walking around the store and ain't nobody paying no attention to me.
Okay. So when you were seeing this at a young age, seeing this black guy getting beat by a hammer, did you just think that he was just getting beat up, or did you think that it was because of his color? I mean, how were you able
originally I thought, this man probably did something to this other man. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, you never know. I mean, but the only thing maybe coming in my head make me think, okay, he had to have done something to this man to be beating him that way. Mm-hmm.
So at that point, how did you incorporate the fact that it was not, you may have had in your head that he may have been beaten someone? What made you conclude that, okay, I don't think he's, I think it's because he's of another.
Well, now, Anthony, that's a wonderful question. I love the man that raised me, which was my stepfather. He's a black man from Chicago. Mm. All my manhood training I have, and it all come from him. So it was, next day, within, I know, not that long, I just remember asking him about it. Uh-huh. And he told me what it was.
Do you remember those words?
Not per se. Like I said, that's a long time ago. That was what?
It's a long time ago. So okay, what other instances have you or did you see within your years before you lost your sight, which made you conclude that this world or this country is or some people are racist, or there's a great deal of injustice and inequality? What else did you see? Tell us.
Well, I mean, maybe like I said, maybe it's obvious to me because I lived in the neighborhood. I was the only white guy in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't nobody else. I mean, I could see the police just riding down on us as I became a teenager. You know, I mean, here again, you want me to go there? I mean, I was part of the Venice Shoreline Crips.
Mm.
Okay, we started Venice Shoreline back in Venice, California, in 1972.
Mm.
Okay, I mean, that's when all the really gangs was taking off in L.A.
Mm.
So I seen all the early gang task force and all that stuff. I mean, I've been arrested for what they call it stargazing. Me and my boys when I was a youngster.
Mm.
I mean, we just some stuff that went on in the neighborhood. We standing out there watching police roll up. Of course, there's no real reason to make us go home. It ain't 10 o'clock yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But because they want us out the way, they actually take us in talking about, what's stargazing? What is that? I mean, it was just something to just take us down and have our parents come pick us up.
So I want to say before we move forward that I will be answering comments that people have put in the comments. So stargazing actually became what known as what? Just looking.
I mean, just
something they made up.
Well, I mean, something they made up at the time. I mean, but as time went on, I guess it would turn into like, resistance direct. For failure to follow an order.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
I have a friend who just posted in the comments that he said he thought you were black. Do you get that a lot?
A lot, a whole lot. I mean, I get it from black and white. I mean, I get it more so in the blind community as far as, me being black, because they can't see me. All they can do is hear me.
Okay. Now, that's a great point, because I did write some questions, but I'm gonna skip around. But being is that the case that you get it from a lot of blind people, what is your opinion? Like, do you think in that instance that people who are blind, they're not racist, or they can't be racist to in order to exhibit some form of injustice, or is being taught racism or being taught injustice something that?
So you're saying the question I'm asking is that blind folks can't be racist?
Okay, in a sense,
because they can't see,
right? Yeah.
No. They are.
Okay, go ahead. Explain why.
Because racism is, I mean, it's taught. Okay. I mean, it's your environment. It's what you come up in.
Okay. So so to my audience, until you are really taught that you are inferior in most cases, or there's a sense of.
Well, I mean, the teaching on it is more subliminal.
Go ahead. I mean, I want you to expound on more, because we have about. I'm gonna give you some time. I want you to expound.
Okay. Well, I mean, bottom line, I mean, here again, when folks hear me, they think I'm a black guy. Why? Because I was systemically, I was raised in the hood. Everybody I was around, this is the way we talk. I mean, I became my environment. I'm a product of my environment. Okay. Now, if you live in an environment that is a racist environment. If you're living in a household with racist parents, or you got, racist family members, or, yada, 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 your neighborhood, you're going to be that.
Okay.
Because it's systemic. I mean, it's just in society.
Okay. Now, with that being said, have any of your other family members been a part of this culture, so quote unquote, or that you are more a part of, or is it just that you? And have you tried, had any discussions with your family members who haven't, in terms of the
I mean, they cover the gamut, and I mean, I got some that they cool, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a couple of them dabbled, with biracial relationships, once or twice, and then all the way to the other side. I mean, I got straight up Trump supporters.
Mhm. Now give us, don't hold nothing back. Give us the what in the conversations that you have had with those family members who weren't in the hood, or who grew up in the hood, or whatever the case may be, and you've talked with them and whatnot. What was their opinion in regards to the quote unquote injustice system, or inequality and what have you? What did they actually tell you? Because growing up in the hood, you were from, raised around black people and things like that. So you have a different perspective. And those who weren't, I wanted to know how they felt about it.
I mean, those that have talked to me, I mean, when they hear me, in defense of, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, I mean, when I point out racism or racist things that they do, of course, Facebook is our thing. That's where the family stays connected nowadays, So they do their thing on there. I do mine, but they comment on my stuff. I may comment on their stuff. But when I point out the racism and what they do, they deny because they don't see it. It doesn't happen in their community.
Okay, before you go further, give us an example of what you have pointed out that they actually don't see. Take your time.
I mean, employment. I mean, the way they excel within companies. I mean, home loans. I mean, they don't understand that. For how can we say? I mean, it ain't been that long that they didn't have what they call the red line district. You know what I'm saying? You could not black folks could not buy a home within certain areas.
Well, you've educated me on that, because I did not. I had no knowledge as to what that actually is. So it has
do you know your insurance is higher if your zip code is in the hood?
Well, that I do. I am aware of that. Now, with that being said, upon talking with your relatives, did the conversation become more heated or confrontational, or they just understood after you told it, or did they see it your way afterwards? What was the end result? I
mean, here again, those that are to the far right, they're deniers. They're always going to be deniers. I love them to death. They still my family. We all connected on that family tree. But God said I have to love everybody, but I don't have to have you right up on me. I can love you from where you at. So, but no, they don't want to hear it. I mean, that's what's so wonderful about, in my mind right now, about what's going on in the streets right now.
Okay. Let me stop you right there. For those who just joined us, we are speaking with Edy Davis, who is a white man, who is Caucasian, who is blind, who has lost his sight how many years ago, Ed?
Well, I mean, I became totally blind in 2008.
Okay, in 2008, and he's given us his opinions and views on the root of injustice. As I mentioned, it's supposed to be in a panel discussion, but we're speaking with him, and he's telling us a lot of things that he's experienced from his point of view. So over the years, point out some of the things as a person who is Caucasian that you've seen that you like, man, I can't believe that these people are actually doing this, or if I just talk to us and tell us what you had seen that made you shake your head before you have lost your sight.
Well, I mean, I can give you my own experiences, Anthony. I don't have to tell you nothing about what I've seen. I can tell you what's happened to me.
Okay, give me that.
Okay. I'm going to go back when I was a teenager, I guess about 18, 19 years old, living in the hood down in Venice. It's not that big. Venice is actually a very small neighborhood. But anyway, you know how folks is. Once we get your car, you want to get up out the hood. So let me go expand my horizons. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm going into the city now. So anyway, I know everybody hears about Crash and all of that you've seen on, what is that? Straight Outta Compton, all that kind of stuff. Well, when that first started, it was called Metro Unit. And it started in the early 70s. And they worked at a parking center downtown LA. Well, I mean, it's a pretty big unit. So when they come to town, their cars were unmarked. They were wearing uniforms, but it was unmarked. So anyway, they come through. When they come in Venice, it's so small. I mean, it's almost like they were following each other. There's so many of them. But anyway, one particular evening, I'm on my way out, and it's going to sound unbelievable, Anthony, but I got stopped within a block of leaving my house. What are you doing over here? Well, I live here. Well, where do you live? Well, right there. You see my ID. I live, hell, that's my apartment building right there behind us. I pointed out to them, we still that close. They mess with me. What you doing in this neighborhood? Bottom line, why is a white guy in this neighborhood? They ain't asking the question, but they insinuating the question. They searched my car. Got to be drugs. Something. Oh, I'm up to something. That's what they do. They just came in the neighborhood. That's what they do. They harass people. I'm not the only one they're harassing, but it's my turn. So anyway, they do their thing with me. Search my car, toss my stuff up. I put my stuff back together, jump in the car. I drive by maybe another block and a half at the most. They get stopped again. Okay, it happens again. All the same stuff. It turns out they did this 4 times.
To you.
Now, on this last time, I've only went maybe about 5 blocks. Okay. Now I'm high. Why, excuse my language, why are y'all effing with me? Man, all I'm trying to do is get up out of here. I mean, you seen the other police tossing me up. Why are you messing with me? Because I'm standing there on the curb. I'm watching them ride by. But that's what they do. They came in to harass. I leave. I go into LA, do my little low riding stuff, come back into the city, back to my neighborhood, maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Them last 2 cops, they was waiting on me, They pulled me over, had their lights on me. I couldn't see who they was, but I knew who they was, in that conversation. Snatched me out of my car, threw me in the back seat of their car, took me in the alley, handcuffed me backwards to a telephone pole where I was facing them. And they beat me down. Pulled the handcuffs off, left me laying in the alley. So one of my partners found me the next morning. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. So this do you think this had to do with the fact that you were white in a black neighborhood, or they just were cops who were just taught to do this? I mean, what was your perception?
Well, I mean, they were in that neighborhood. Bottom line, I'm part of the neighborhood, so I'm part of that environment. Now because I'm talking mess to them because they messing with me. You know what I'm saying? They going, okay, well, we're going to treat you just like we treat them.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. Wow.
Okay.
Tell me that we were talking off camera about you were involved in an incident, and it was with some friends who were black, and they the cops end up driving you back to your home.
Well, we're gonna move into the area what everybody wants to deny. White folks want to deny. Excuse my language. I'm saying white folks because, like I said, I'm from the hood. So,
no,
my white brothers and sisters out there, they fail to
wait.
acknowledge.
Let me pause for the call. I like how you. I like how you had dressed it up. But go ahead. Go ahead.
What they want to fail to, acknowledge. I mean, because it's just the way they were raised. White privilege.
And we're going to talk about that later on. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, that's where we're going with this. This is what this is. I mean, there's a place where I used to hang out in LA. It's down on Crawford, Crenshaw, and Adams. It's called Johnny's Pastrami. Oh man, it was a beautiful place. Hung there for a lot of years. But anyway, it was a popular hangout. And police used to rush up in there on us all the time. A lot of times they didn't recognize, that I was part of the crowd. They just thought I was somebody, participating in getting some food or whatever from from Johnny's.
Mm.
And they grab all the brothers and throw them up on the wall, and then they, like I said, they would ignore me. Okay. Some folks would go to jail. Now, if I was back then, I got caught gambling with them and or things that we were doing down there like that. Of course, I got jacked with them. I got treated the same way they did. But when they did not know I was with them, they let me go. I'm gonna give you incidents. I told you I used to ride motorcycles. That's part of where my accident came from. But anyway, we was out doing some street racing one night. And they came and they ran down on us, me and another partner in my car. We jumped on our motorcycles. We took off and ran. Okay. LA County Sheriff, they come chasing us. Well, we had got away because we on them motorcycles, cutting cars, all that old kind of stuff. So anyway, me and Carl, we got separated a little bit. And he was way out in front of me. Sheriffs rolled up behind me. Okay. Pulled draw their guns down on me. When I turn around, because I got my helmet on, I turn around and they see I'm white. They asked me, "Did you see a black guy go by here on a motorcycle?"
No. Wow.
I said, "Yeah, he's about 5 miles down on Main by now."
Okay. Now, this is funny, but it's a serious situation.
It's the truth.
Right? I like how you put it together like that because of how the officers treated you, and this leads to the next question in terms of do you think, or where do you think this or equality comes from? And you answered it a little bit earlier in terms of it kind of has been taught to people, but do you want to expound more about it in terms of where it actually comes from, in your opinion?
Here again, it goes all the way back to, in my opinion, slavery, all of that. Come on, man. They fought a war over it. Civil War was all about slavery.
And you feel that it stems from then, and then it was taught to others and different generations.
It's generational.
So with the emergence of things that has occurred within the past 6 months, do you think that it has allowed the practices of injustice and equality to actually rear its ugly head? And if so, explain why.
Well, the main reason why it should be, in my opinion, in the last 3.5 years, it has gotten worse.
And what do you mean? And why? Go tell us why.
We got a cat up in the White House that's sending out these little dog whistles.
Mm-hmm.
There's good people on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But these people up here in Washington walk around with bulletproof vests on and AK-47s all up in the state capitol. They good people to me. But yet now, we got 4 police holding the brother down with a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 48 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Now, look, do you think that people may ask this question too? Do you think that if you weren't raised in the area where there were people of different color, and it's probably hard to believe, but I'm just taking a shot in the dark. Do you think that your attitude would have been different towards people of color?
Again, I'm a product of my environment, and all I can say is, keep it 100. I know how I am and I recognize that I am what I am from where I came from. In my heart, am I a racist person? No. And now that because of the way I was raised, yeah. But who knows if I would have grown up, in the the Blue Hills of Kentucky or whatever. I don't know. I'm just like everybody else. My family's are immigrants. I'm German, Irish, and Dutch. That's my lineage. So I know I'm grateful for the life I had.
Right. You
You know.
probably wouldn't have it any other way. I'm quite sure.
Oh
Because
no.
you're the best.
No. Oh,
Kind of
no.
like, quote
I've
unquote.
received so much love in the Black community, man. It's just amazing. I mean, I've had Black women call me they little white son.
Mm.
All of these things. I'm walking in the house. Hey, how you doing, Mama Cooley? How you doing, Mama Preston?
And see, I'm glad that to have you on here, because we are talking about the racial injustice, and you giving me your honest opinion from a different perspective. But just to hear, like earlier when my friend had stated that he didn't know that you were Black, so it just leads me to believe sometimes, as a blind person, you have to you in order for you to be practiced or to be practicing some type of injustice, you have to have been taught, well, this don't trust this race because of this, don't trust this race because of this, because just listening to you, nobody would never know the race of you, because of the fact that as a blind person you can't see.
Not looking at it, we'll never know.
That's very interesting. What do you suggest could be the to in order to end this injustice and inequality, and have people on a fair playing ground as much as they could? What would be your suggestion as a person of take a pause for a second.
Okay.
We are speaking. I'm trying to wait till his feed gets back. I am speaking with Edy Davis, who's my brother from another mother now. And he's taking us through his journey as to his experience, as to what it's like to grow up in an area where there's Blacks. He is a white person who is totally blind as well. So we getting situations from different angles and whatnot, which I am glad to have. And I want to welcome my new subscribers. I want to welcome the new viewers and what have you. And let's go back to the live and see if he is back. Are you straight?
I'm good.
Okay, go ahead. Know what you were saying? Suggestions.
Right. Wait, run that by me one more time.
What with the fact that there is some injustice that's going on and things like that, and we have a person that's in the house that's basically adding fuel to the fire. What do you think could be done to rectify the injustice and the inequality, so that at least people can be on a fair playing ground?
Well, I think on one hand, where Trump has made it, people think it's okay to be racist. It has also allowed people that are not racist to see it. That's why now
I like that. I like what you just said.
Black Lives Matter, they out here, they were protesting. I mean, come on, this stuff has been happening for years. I mean, Black Lives Matter started with Trayvon.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never got the attention it has now. Why? Because now it's not just Black folks marching. I mean, it's everybody. They out there, and they out there for what, 3 weeks now?
Little over three weeks.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the corona's playing something into it as well, because people at home, they ain't out in the streets, they ain't working. It's all over the news. I mean, they sat there and watched that knee on that man's neck. You know what I'm saying? They seen Ahmaud get killed, what, 2 weeks before that? A week?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, Ahmaud was covered up for what, over a month, 2 months almost.
And it was just recently exposed. So,
right.
But do you think the last incident, not the one in Atlanta, but the George Floyd, in order for this injustice to?
I do, and it's only because of the descriptions I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from my understanding, the video showed this man with his knee on that man's neck. Okay, and we talking about somebody being what do they want to call it? He's subdued.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's under control. I mean,
right.
Like your boy said the other day, once the handcuffs go on, it's supposed to be over with.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, we definitely.
But yet we got 4 people holding this man down, and this fool's got his knee on his neck. Not only that, he, from what I understand in the video, supposedly showed that he readjusted his knee.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, he's not in no fear of his life. From what I understand, he had his hands in his pocket. How blatant can you be?
And look, y'all, this is coming from Ed, and you know he grew up he grew up amongst people who are black, and he's also a white person. So he had basically the experience to understand what it's like, and he also mentioned the fact that there is such a thing as white privilege. Did you not? I mean, expound a little bit on that before we conclude, because for the live viewers who just coming in now, did you touch on that earlier?
I mean, I did a little bit. Bottom line, what my white brothers and sisters don't realize is white privilege is a birthright. Okay, I mean, they automatically got it when they was born. You know, when they walk in the bank, they, you know, the bankers and all of them, they automatically think you got good credit.
I feel you. Go ahead.
You know, when you walk into the car lot, you know what I'm saying? You get, you know, 7-8% interest on your car. Let the black man walk in there, he gonna have to pay 12-13%. You know,
real talk. That is real talk.
I mean, same thing when it comes to buying homes and stuff like that. You know, trying to start a business. You know, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, even look at what just happened with all this money they was giving out for that payroll protection thing. You know, okay, the corporations and white small businesses and stuff that had a relationship with their bankers, their paperwork was already in order. When that money hit the bank, it was gone. Because they had a relationship with those businesses. Most black-owned businesses don't really have a relationship with their bank because they ain't got that much money to put in the bank. They struggling. It's a family thing.
That's real talk, man. Hey, man, I love you for coming on here and expressing your opinion about that, man, and being straight up and informative, so people can know. Hey, they used to think they would think well, this channel was just for about black people and blah blah blah. But I'm not doing it to prove anything. It's just the fact that hey, I'm very open-minded, very diverse with whatever I talk about, and I allow people to come on and share their thoughts and what have you. But definitely, as we sum this up, man, let the people know what's happening, man. Lately as a blind person, what experiences have you had? I mean, I'm quite sure you still feel the same, but just talk to them, you know, and let people know how it has gotten for you, or things are now that you are visually impaired, because you were seeing things before then, so therefore you saw the injustice. So what is it now? Have you experienced anything as far as maybe being blind and as a white person being in dating a white black person?
I mean, of course, I dealt with it all my life. You know, by being married to a black woman and having, you know, raising, you know, biracial children. My children had a lot they had to go through, being called Oreos and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I mean, since I became blind, I mean, it's still part of the world. I mean, I recognize it when I hear it. You know, it's not going to go away. Like I said, it's systemic. What people don't understand about systemic is it's built into society. I mean, the white privilege comes from the fact that white people ran the country for so many years. They put a system in place that works for them. Okay, and it's all about everybody else trying to fit into their system. Okay, so until that system changes to where everybody is equal as the Constitution states, it's always going to be systemic. I mean, let's go back to what was it, Michael Brown? Okay, when he got shot, Obama had do that investigation down over there, and where was he from? I'm sorry, I can't remember what state he was from now. Missouri. Okay, and they showed that city where he was killed at, that police department was funded by preying on the community. Parking tickets and jaywalking tickets and all that. You know what I'm saying? They just showed how, you know, how the police departments and whatnot were, you know, I mean, it's just built into society. And that's what people don't understand. You got to get that out. You got to get it out. I mean, the penitentiary, you go in the jailhouse. I used to think that was the final frontier for racism until Trump got in office, but I mean, because when you go in there, it's total segregation. I mean, I don't know what it's like in other states. I've only been in the one in California. And when you go up in there, it ain't no race mixing. I mean, for a person like myself, my life was truly on the line. Thank God for my relationships outside of there, because the brothers sent word in and put their hands around me, and they had me.
That's real talk. That's real talk, buddy. Man, hey, I'm glad you had a chance to come through here, man, and talk to these people, to me, and educate us all on your experience and I really enjoyed it. So with that being said, any final words?
You know, God says we got to love all of us. You know, I mean, we all God's children. I mean, when we peel the skin back, you know, we all red, pink, whatever. We all bleed blood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a heart. Everybody got a liver. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the melatonin. Some of us got it, some of us don't. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I said, we all God's children. It doesn't make no sense for us to have these little things. I mean, we got more in common than we don't. You know, we all just trying to survive on this planet. We all just trying to live. We all trying to raise a family. We all want to live in a safe neighborhood. We all want to have our kids go to good school. You know what I'm saying? And it's enough out here. We come from the richest country on the planet. Why can't we all have a piece of it?
Oh, I like that. And we're going to end it on that note, just like that, man. Thanks everybody for subscribing to Third Eye Visions. And thanks again, Edy Davis, for giving us your candid opinion about injustice and equality. And I really enjoyed it. And I hope to bring you back on a later topic and things of that nature. So with that being said, y'all, I'm about to end this live and see y'all later again tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Hopefully, I wish you all a happy Father's Day. Hope y'all go out and enjoy that day. I mean, hey, this has been very, very, very interesting topic. I definitely want to expound on this. So with that being said, Ed, thank you for coming and checking out.
Again, thank you for having me, man, and happy Father's Day to you as well.
All right, thanks a lot, man. All right.